Many thanks for watching my video and visiting my channel. Now, after saving for some time, I'm now in a fortunate position to buy a new watch, and the options are either a vintage Rolex Submariner or the Tudor Pelagos. Now, the price of a vintage Rolex Submariner ranges between the £3,000 to £4,000 mark, and the price of a Tudor Pelagos is just under £3,000 in the United Kingdom. Now, there are many reasons why I would opt for a vintage Rolex Submariner over a brand new one. The first reason obviously is price. The vintage models are more affordable, and if I'm perfectly honest, I've tried on the new Rolex Submariner model and I do feel it is a bit bulky, and I prefer the more subtle style of the vintage model. The next reason obviously that I would like to buy a Rolex Submariner is because it is, not just the most iconic watch that Rolex have made, but possibly the most iconic watch ever made. And the vintage models are steeped in a huge amount of history, a lot of firsts as well, fantastic movement inside the watch. It is just one of the best, and quite rightly regarded as one of the greatest watches ever made. Also, because the watch hasn't really changed much over the last 30-40 years, I do feel that I would be getting much better value for money if I opted for a vintage model. And obviously they were included in the James Bond films, or the early ones, so that is always, that's always quite nice. Now, to be honest, the only watch I really wanted for some time was the Rolex Submariner, because it's the watch that I've always wanted, and it's quite rightly regarded as a phenomenal watch. But recently I've turned my attentions to the Tudor Pelagos. Now obviously Tudor is the sister company of Rolex, and for some reason the Tudor Pelagos is a winner with me. I mean, obviously it's still got the subtle style, and it's got sort of the tradition and history of Rolex and Tudor. I mean, what attracts me to it is the sort of matte style and finish you can see on the bezel and on the dial. It's quite unique, but it's still got the feel of a Submariner. It's got quite a lot of new features as well. It's got the automatic clasp adjustment, which is fitted in there, and I do think it is a beautiful watch. It's also, brand new. It's cheaper than a vintage Rolex, so it's a very tough decision. So let me know in the comment section below whether you think I should go for the vintage Rolex or a brand new Tudor Pelagos. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.